Hey there, welcome to the channel where you fly with me, Jonathan. If you like aviation, then you're at the right place. On this video, we're going to pick up where we left off on the last video. Link in the description. Welcome to Bole International Airport. Constructed in 1962, today Bole International Airport has become a hub to connect almost all African cities thanks to its partner, Ethiopian Airlines. It has two parallel runways and two terminals. So back to the present time. It's currently 9 local time or 6 UTC in the morning. After checking in and passing its painful security check, we are now in its international terminal. So why are we here and where are we going? Well, after spending a very short time in Addis Ababa, it was time that me and my two VIPs went back to the one and only Goma city in DRC. Thankfully, there is a direct flight from here to Goma on an obvious airline, which you probably guessed by now. Ethiopian Airlines Flight 831. Well, you cannot guess the flight number, but you guessed the airline. With a departure time of 10:55 local time or 7:55 UTC, we've got 1 hour and 55 minutes of free time. Our gate is Alpha 1 and that's where we are going right now. Ethiopian Airlines has transformed Bole International Airport into an African hub that connects to almost all cities across Africa. Created in 1945, it has become Africa's most successful airline with 147 aircrafts in service and over 18,000 employees, reaching over 200 destinations. It is owned by the government of Ethiopia. This airline is probably the only one that respects and follows its slogan, the new spirit of Africa. And I can say it truly is. After a while at 10:14 local time or 7:14 local time or 7:14 UTC, our aircraft of the day finally arrived. I present to you Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8, named Tango Alpha Whiskey India. Built in 2021, it's just 2.8 years old. It was delivered to Ethiopian Airlines in 2023. With its two CFM LEAP 1 Bravo 28, it's able to carry 162 passengers in a two-class configuration, reaching about 3,500 nautical miles, which is about 6,400 kilometers. This model of the 737 has had a very tough start to life due to the two well-known air crashes. The 737 in total has 4 generations: the Jurassic generation, the Classic generation, the Next Gen generation, and finally the Max generation. From the Jurassic all the way to the Next Gen generation, the 737's reputation on safety is unbeatable. Well, if we remove radar issues. But apart from that, it's one of the safest when you look at the number of produced 737. When the Max came in, it tarnished that safety record because for the first time in the 737, it had a design flaw. Today, the MCAS has been redesigned and hopefully we will never hear anything regarding MCAS. So anyways, there she is, the MAX 8. After some time and running a little bit late, we started boarding at 10:56 local time or at 7:56 UTC, 1 minute behind schedule. When the aircraft came into the gate, the entire crew was changed, so that might be the reason why the aircraft is running a little bit late on schedule. After a long boarding process, here we are now seated. I was granted with this amazing view of the giant LEAP engines. Can't wait to see those wing flags, so let's go.
Much later.
Well, it has been 1 hour and we are still on the gate. The captain told us it was a mechanical issue and they are getting it sorted. Hopefully we don't become the next MCAS victim. But there is one thing that I liked while we were seated. The cabin safety demonstration was in English and in French. I'm really happy that they have started to consider the nationality of the passengers in the aircraft. Thankfully at 12:02 local time or 9:02 UTC, 1 hour and 7 minutes behind schedule, we pushed back to get this flight started. The LEAP engines take a bit long to start compared to its predecessor, the Boeing 737 NG, which comes with the CFM 56 engines. And so, with that, the tow track removed, all engines started, flight control checked, and flaps set to the usual 5 degrees, we started our taxi to the runway. So let's take this opportunity to look at our flight. Addis Ababa and Goma are 1,589 kilometers apart, or 858 nautical miles apart. With a cruise at 38,000 feet and a ground speed of 480 knots, our flight will be approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes. The skies are calm but filled with scattered clouds, but all at low altitudes. Looking at Bole International Airport, the weather is calm with few clouds 2,300 feet above the airport and broken at 2,500 feet above the airport. The visibility is good and the winds are at 4 knots coming from the southeast. This makes runway 25 left the active runway for today. After takeoff, we will follow the standard instrument departure route called Band 2 Bravo. It will take us a bit west and then southwest, all the way to a waypoint called Bendu. Then from here, the pilots will proceed as they filed to Goma. For the moment, we are taxiing to runway 25 left via the taxiway Charlie 1, then on runway 07 left, which is usually used as a taxiway, and then taxiway November, which will connect us to runway 25 left. Bole International Airport has 3 hot periods in a day. Basically, they are the times that the airport is very active. The first one is the morning rush. Here, overnight flights from all over the world land at this time, and early flights to almost all cities across Africa take off in this period. The second is the evening rush, where almost all aircraft and crews that took off in the morning return home. The third one is the midnight rush. It's when all cross-continental flights take off to go all over the world. As for us, we are taking off at a calm period at noon. Although the airport looks active, it's pretty calm when compared to its hot periods, with the majority of flights being domestic flights across Ethiopia. After a 6 minutes taxi from the gate to the runway at 12:18 local time or 9:18 UTC, 1 hour and 23 minutes behind schedule due to maybe the MCAS. Okay, now I'm just rolling. It was time to take off and get out of here finally. So what should we expect from the takeoff? It will be a very long takeoff. With all that fuel and almost a full-packed cabin, this MAX is fully maxed out. Yeah, do you get it? This MAX is fully maxed out. Yeah, it's a joke. So as usual, I'm going to keep quiet and let you enjoy the takeoff. Hopefully, MCAS does not take us on a roller coaster ride. Okay, I'm joking. Enjoy the takeoff. Welcome to the skies of Ethiopia and Africa. As we climb to our cruising altitude on the Band 2 Bravo departure route, we enter one of my favorite parts about flying during the day: cloud surfing. Riding the cloud is very awesome. The bumpiness you get, the whiteness of the clouds all around the aircraft, all of it is just awesome. I really don't understand what people go through when they say it scares them when flying through clouds. Really? It scares you. That's a bit strange. But anyways, let's enjoy these amazing sky footages. And so we continued our climb and arrived to our cruising altitude of 38,000 feet. With the seatbelt lights off, it was time to eat. The meal was the usual, and as a low standard passenger like myself, like I always say, it was delicious. But I cannot say for high standard passengers. Maybe they might think that this is just a boring lunch or awful cuisine, but for me, it was really, really, really beautiful and delicious meal. So, with the food out of the way, let's look at the beautiful skies. With good scenery, 2 hours of flight quickly went by and we soon began our descent into Goma city to land at Goma International Airport. As you can see, the weather near Goma is not great, so let's take this opportunity to look at the weather at Goma International Airport. With some few thunderstorm clouds at 2,300 feet above the airport and broken clouds at 2,500 feet above the airport, the atmosphere is not at its best in Goma right now. In spite of these challenges, the visibility is more than 10 kilometers, winds at 10 knots coming from the south. Unfortunately, due to Goma International Airport's geographic location, large aircraft can only land in one direction and take off in one direction. For landing, it's runway 35, and for takeoff, it's runway 17. So how will the pilots get us into Goma International Airport? The pilots will fly a standard terminal arrival route called XIBC-1 Lima. That's a weird, very weird name. It makes the aircraft fly over Mount Nyiragongo, heading straight to Goma Airport. When overhead Goma Airport, the aircraft will then go to a waypoint called Getav, then Luxa and Sivlo. From here, the pilots will begin an approach called an Air Nav Yankee for runway 35, from the Silvo transition and then land. Alright, that's how we'll get back to the ground. Unfortunately, due to the clouds, we were not able to see much, but we'll do some cloud surfing fun, which I like. Alright, here we are now on top of Mount Nyiragongo, and now we are heading straight to Goma International Airport. Well, here we can say the weather report lied to us. Those clouds are not broken. That's an overcast. We are now on top of Goma International Airport. Time to head straight to waypoint Getav. I wish the clouds were in a different place. We could have seen some parts of Goma city. And right now at your screen is the town of Minova and parts of Lake Kivu. Alright, now we are over the waypoint Getav. Now time to head to the waypoint Luxa. So much for the 10-kilometer visibility, that looks less than 8 kilometers. The island below is named Ijwi. With us close to it means that we have reached waypoint Luxa. Unfortunately, with only one runway direction being used for landings and takeoffs, the air traffic controller at Goma International Airport has no choice but to instruct one aircraft to hold on top of the waypoint Luxa while another aircraft takes off and gets out of the approach path. Today we unfortunately got the same treatment, and so we waited in the hold. We waited.
Much later.
After holding for a while around Ijwi Island on the waypoint Luxa, it was finally time to begin our approach into Goma International Airport. We left Luxa waypoint and headed to the waypoint Sivlo. With the Great Lake giving us blue radiation into our eyes, after reaching the waypoint Sivlo, the landing gears came down, indicating our time to land. From Sivlo, we quickly joined the Air Nav Yankee at 7,000 feet and started heading to runway 35 on a practically 3-degree glide. Fun fact, all the instrument approaches into Goma International Airport pass through the Rwanda airspace, as well as all the takeoffs. Due to some thunderstorm clouds nearby, the approach was a bumpy one, which I like. But all approaches into Goma are always by majority bumpy like this one due to the close proximity of all the hills and mountains surrounding Goma. Do you remember when we passed over Goma Airport? It was covered by clouds all over. Right now, we are underneath it. That's why it looks as if the lights are going down as we approach Goma closer and closer. Anyways, now I'm going to keep quiet and let you enjoy the landing into Goma Airport's runway 35. Enjoy! And welcome to Goma International Airport. What a landing. Unfortunately, we landed at 13:39 local time or 11:39 UTC, which is 1 hour and 20 minutes late. But hey, the good thing is that we arrived safe. Thankfully, MCAS did not act up. But there is something that shocked me a bit when we landed. Let's rewind a bit. What are these guys doing that close to the runway? Unbelievable. Unacceptable. But hey, we are in DRC, so anything goes as long as everyone gets their money and no one is caught. So once again, welcome to Goma International Airport. As I mentioned earlier, due to the one direction rule for landings and takeoffs, traffic management is not the best at Goma Airport. Right now we're waiting for an A320 of CAA, a company for DRC, to line up to the runway so that the taxiway to vacate runway 35 can become free. There are usually two taxiways used for getting on and off the runway, but unfortunately, like I said, due to bad traffic management, one of the other taxiways is occupied by an Illusion Il-76, using it as a stand. With the taxiway free, it was time to get ourselves packed. Goma Airport only has 3 taxiways. The blocked one is called Charlie, and the one that we took is called Bravo. We will park near the terminal. You see, each airport has parking locations with their own names, but unfortunately, I don't have the names for the parking locations at this airport. And there goes the A324 CAA, probably heading to DRC's capital, Kinshasa. So how was the flight? Well, apart from being 1 hour and 20 minutes late, the flight was pleasant. The cabin crew were present throughout the flight. Some flight review channels always say that Ethiopian Airlines is not great. I really don't get them. As for me, Ethiopian Airlines is class. It's fine. Anyways, we began this journey from Malawi to bring my 2 VIPs here in Goma. And here I can say mission complete. So what now? Well, I don't know about my 2 VIPs, but for me, I need to go back into the skies. I'm gonna head back to Ethiopia, and a very good surprise will be on the next video. Well, thanks so much for watching. With us packed, and after my 2 VIPs got out of the aircraft, I'm gonna stay inside the aircraft and wait for my return into the sky. We'll be on the ground for about 2 hours and then start heading back to Addis Ababa. I will let you enjoy the takeoff into the sky. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the like button and notification icon. Until next time, bye.